So we'll go start with and do welcome and introductions.
Julie Grove, I'm with the city.
Serving with the city.
Sarah Rennie, representing Carver County on the Highway 4110 project.
Jeff Kurth, SRF, will be the project manager on the 41 Highway 10 Carver County project.
Derek Main, Carver County Project Manager, 41.
Darren Milky, the Deputy County Engineer for Carver County. I've been the project manager for the Highway 4110 project I would be talking about shortly.
Steve Ritz, Vice President of the Downtown Business Alliance and also founder of Fitness First in Chaska and Excelsior.
Jen Angel, I'm the administrator for the Downtown Business Alliance.
Good morning, Melody Bridgman with Carver County CDA.
Doris Coghill with the Chaska History Center.
Steve Curtis of the Southwest Metro Chamber.
Michaela Hatfield, City Council and Liaison.
Yes. Krista Mark, with the city.
Okay.
And then on the Zoom, we have a couple people. We have Mel, you're welcome to introduce yourself.
Good morning, Mel Carlson with Nicolay Bank in Chaska.
And Max, you can introduce yourself now if you'd like, because you'll probably, we'll do a little bit of business and then I'll transition it to you.
Sure, great. Hi, everyone. Max Musicant of the Musicant Group will be implementing in collaboration with you all a placemaking and activation plan and some implementation steps for downtown Chaska over the coming months.
Can we switch? Sorry, Max, but can we have these guys go first? Just, we thought it might be.
Not a
Maybe
problem.
it's okay.
That's just fine.
Max.
And we're having technical difficulties.
Oh, we're having technical. Okay, scratch that. Max, you get to go first.
Okay,
I just thought, Max, it would be good for you to hear.
I can stick around after my remarks, or if they get their technical difficulties, I can also go after. So.
Sounds good.
So our
Sometimes it shows.
business ops will be fairly quick because we do not have a quorum, so we cannot approve anything. So we cannot adopt the agenda or approve the minutes, and we cannot approve the treasurer's report. But what I will say about the treasurer's report is we came in exactly where we thought we would, right around that 4 to 5 mark that we're carrying over. I have that tentatively earmarked. I know we had earmarked it for doing some maybe spot things around downtown. I have it tied to that and maybe some more business retention focus, maybe the expansion of the SSD, because we know there will be some dollars there. So that's how I have that marked for utilization. CDBA remains the same.
So with that said, we'll go to the fourth bullet point, which is current business, and we're going to switch, go road construction first then.
No, we're not.
We're not?
No, we're having technical.
All right.
Go to Max.
So back to Max.
I'll just introduce you, Max, even though
Great.
you've introduced yourself. So we brought this up maybe for the past few meetings, that we really have been wanting to work with Max to do an activation placemaking plan now that Highway 41 is done, bring people downtown, activate the paseos, find ways to foster social activity, get people to shop, explore, and eat. So Max, actually, I had worked with Max in St. Louis Park on an activation plan there too. And so he and his teammate Melissa are going to work with us. He would like to at some point talk to some businesses, talk to this group. And then I'll let you just tell them what you're going to do and
Great.
go from here.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for having me, inviting me in to your thriving community and to collaborate with you all. My purpose today is just to give an overview of kind of the project, how we're looking to collaborate, some of the end goals and results we're hoping to formulate. And then as part of our project, as Julie mentioned, we have built in a number of business focus engagements. One of them will be a focus group, which we anticipated would take place at one of these board meetings that we would like to have next month, if possible, so that we have enough time to really build in all the feedback and information we get from that session into all the other future deliverables, as well as doing some other resident, customer, and business engagement through some surveys to complement that and our on-the-ground work. In addition to working with Julie over in St. Louis Park on a couple things, we also have had some experience working in downtown Chaska, working with HKGI on some of the City Square West imaginings and plans around the public realm for that, and some initial things around the Paseo as well. So excited to be able to come back and after some of the first phasing of that has been implemented and make sure that you all are getting the most out of those investments. So I'll run through the overview of our project, our goals, and some of the things we'll be doing. I would welcome questions or comments at this time during this part. And then, of course, my plan would be to come back in person for a much larger and more substantive conversation next month. Any other things that people would like to get out of my time this morning beyond that? Okay, well, I'll just dive right in then. And please just raise your hand or chime in as I go if things come up. So the context that we're coming in on, as you all are well aware, but that the construction project on 41, the downtown portion, is done with additional pedestrian space, but also maybe some narrative around lost parking and access concerns. And while those extra parking and pedestrian spaces have been added, we know that there's some challenges around the narrative of downtown, even though there is a thriving business activity there, that there are some stories out there that may not be the case. We also know that there are events have been shifted away from City Square West into some other locations with kind of a mixed bag of impact of that. And that there is a desire to have more active everyday spaces and events that really impact downtown, and that there's a potential for an expanded SSD. So that's the context in which we understand we're coming into. The outcomes that we're hoping to achieve through our work with you all is the city and the business association have a clear plan and budget for the use of new potential assessment funds. The city and the association are alignment around a vision and plan for downtown events in the coming year. And both are also in alignment around the most important small-scale physical improvements and associated operations to implement in 2025, with a specific focus on the Paseo improvements and the city-owned vacant lot on Chestnut that is an opportunity site to do some things in this summer. So with that, our activities will be to engage with you all and the city staff and resident customer business or customer residents to translate that engagement and craft a work plan that to support the association and the city and their downtown efforts, as well as to create some plans to support the future potential expansion of services through the SSD, and to assess and make recommendations around like small scale, high impact physical improvements, events, operations, marketing activities that fit within the existing association budgets, the city activities that relate to those new public spaces and activities. And then another thing that we've been adding into our work, our projects, is ongoing implementation support. So we're going to be gearing up to be able to support your existing 2025 event planning activities as you're in those planning phases for that, to bring our expertise and the results of our engagement to be able to shape and inform that, to implement something hopefully in the vacant lot that the city owns, as well as in the Paseo. And then rather than just giving you a report and walking away, we've built in several months of ongoing advisory services to help implementation of those things, to support the inevitable myriad of opportunities and challenges that arise when you're trying to do anything new. So, was there a question there?
Sorry, it was a sneeze.
Oh, that's all right. I know how that goes. And I think with that, I'll end with some of the general frameworks that we'll be applying here. And one is to focus on providing more positive experiences for young families in particular, which was something that we heard from Jen and Julie and other folks during the sort of discernment and scope creation process. That was an important cohort that we really focused on when in a prior project we had been running the 50th in France Business Association as their their staff for several years, and they had a similar challenge there in that they had a narrative around what that district was and who it was for. And we made a deliberate effort to engage young families who had recently moved to the surrounding areas who maybe hadn't been patronizing or visiting the district for a variety of reasons, a lot of it around perceptions that were not necessarily true. So we know that young families are an important and large component of the Chaska and the surrounding areas. They bring a lot of vitality. They also drive visitation of other groups as well. So young families we know will be a key component of our discernment and planning for. Two, as I said, we're using that vacant lot the city owns as a key driver of our implementation. Focus, doing things that increase visitation, length of stay, and the visibility for the downtown and the retail restaurant businesses and hospitality businesses in particular. We'll examine how events can drive more traffic, visibility, and return visitation, both the association events and what the city is doing in downtown. And also focus on making journeys between destinations and to and from parking locations a real clear, and potentially strive to have that journey be a benefit rather than just a necessity or a negative whenever possible. And then we'll take all the things that we've done, best practices from our own work and others across the field to make these things come to life. So with that, I think I'll just pause. We'll do our engagement efforts will be happening in January and February. We'll start crafting our plan and recommendations in March, and then allow for implementation to start in March, April, and May, so that you all can get the full benefit of these recommendations for the summertime and the fall.
Are you guys gonna look at the impact of a social district down here as well? I know we've done that. We did that a while ago. Is that a part of this process or no?
Oh,
think-
go
ahead,
for it.
Max. No, go ahead, Max.
Oh, I was about to say, I mean, from my understanding, there is a potential of a social district, right?
Correct. We have a bill drafted. We have support from our legislators to bring it forward. We'll find out later this session if we end up getting that or not. So, but I think that's something that we have talked to Max about, and that, you know, we'll just have to kind of see what happens with that.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, anything
'cause that-
I can do to help on the business side, like I know Chaska does a great job with Sack and Whack. I've talked to a business owner who is having issues with Sack and Whack right now, and they have like 2 bathrooms, and I'm like, what? So if that's like anything I can do to get out and through the chamber, I'd love to help that way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because any barriers that you guys are removing to bring more businesses down, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think we can absolutely build in if that should come to pass, how best to, implement that, and other what are the public realm spaces that could best support the activities there.
Yeah, it's already in all of our parks, you can have alcoholic beverages. Like we do our markets, they're moving to Thursday nights this year, partnering with Parks and Rec. They're gonna do the music in the park. I think the city's doing their Bags League from Crooked Pike. They're moving that to Thursday nights. We're trying to activate Fireman's Park Thursday nights, 17 nights from June to October. So that'll be a great kind of idea how we can bring that down here. You know what I mean?
Yes, we talked in the scoping about the opportunity of how do we translate all the great things that happen in Fireman's Park and the Curling Center and get more of that energy to cross the arterial to come into the rest of the downtown. So that'll also be a key focus.
Well, I think as we talk about, excuse me, expanding the district, then that narrative will play out to how do we engage Tram and Cuzzies and some of these other places that aren't necessarily walkable from here or Fireman's Park. So I think there's a lot of learnings there that we'll be able to help really support as the boundaries expand. The question I had, and it may be more for you, Julie, Max, you mentioned like the implementation support. I know Aaron had mentioned last meeting that like they were struggling with engagement on the music nights and how best to do that. Is that part of this scope too, like supporting them in the events that they're running here that they can better optimize?
I think it's all inclusive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think
Well,
that's important. I mean, anything anyone else does down here supports.
Yes, it's not just for the events that the association puts on or that the city puts on. It's
Or-
for anything that, or the chamber, it's for any of the businesses too.
That's good.
Or how do we get people to come down here when the Ryder Cup's here? Or how, you know what I mean? Like if events are going up on the north side of town, how do you get people to come down? I mean, I've already heard how the businesses in the commons, people like, I didn't know you were here, but I went to Costco and now you're my favorite UPS store, or you know what I mean? So it's amazing what Costco has already brought to town in, the 6 months it's been here. So I think, I don't know, it's pretty awesome. And it was pretty easy with Music in the Park on Wednesdays to see Shakopee does it, Excelsior does it, Victoria does it, Chanhassen does it. So why were we doing it on Wednesday nights? So that was a pretty easy move to Thursday nights.
That is something, Max, that Steve and I talked about after we had talked initially, was really understanding what's happening in everything around us and making sure that we're plotting events that don't coincide with that, knowing that people won't leave maybe their home city and come to other things.
Had three tree lightings in one night, from Chanhassen, Chaska and Carver, which was fun.
For you, yes.
I want to go into two.
Okay,
Yeah.
good to know. That can be definitely something we'll examine and make sure that we're mapping out.
Yeah, look forward to meeting you. Hopefully you can make it in person. That'd be great.
Oh, no, I absolutely will. I mean, I was gonna come in person today, but in talking with Jen and Julie, we wanted to just make sure there's a as big of a turnout as possible to do sort of more in-depth engagement. And so we decided that next month would be a more likely scenario for that. So I will be there in person next month.
And I think that's the ask of this group is to make sure that I knew the board was going to be light this month because people are traveling. But really, aside from the board, we want the businesses here so that Max can engage with them. So as you're out and about, obviously it's in the recording, it'll go in my notes. But we know how well people read emails. Although I do have a really good open rate on this month.
I didn't get this one.
I didn't get it either.
So it doesn't go to the city. Kevin is working on that. Somewhere you guys are blocking it.
Yeah, apparently we blocked her.
Yeah.
Fishing.
Because we didn't get it either.
It's like,
So spread that word. The idea for the next meeting with Max here is kind of that focus group discussion that he'll lead. Similar to like the conversation Julie and I had with him where he was asking like, what are the key things that you feel are important? Where do you feel things are lacking? Like to help understand as we craft the bigger things. So anybody you
On
talk to.
Valentine's Day, so it's we could like love Chaska, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Max, you can bring heart-shaped donuts for
our
everybody.
next meeting is on Valentine's Day.
I think so. Second.
Yeah.
It is, yes.
Is there-
Yeah. The
Is there like,
14th, yeah.
I don't know, like a little postcard or something we could do to really make sure, like, I'm happy to stop in some businesses. Like, I guess, how can we help? But I think maybe having something that they can like put on their board to make sure they come, because I think this is really important. And certainly I think a big thing the city's doing to try and really invest in downtown, and it was a big spend and we want to make sure. So I'm happy to help however I can. But I think having something to like hand the businesses and also trying to get to the property owners to like make sure they come and know about it.
Enough time to promote it?
I think so. I think what we found is like, typically, if we can give people a couple weeks, then we have a better chance of engaging them as opposed to saying in April, we're gonna get together and do this.
Well, and one of the things I was thinking is you and I can this month try to get these out to the downtown businesses. And I have a sheet that I had made as part of a welcome packet or a packet for businesses that I have that has information, has all of the dates for all of the meetings for the year. That give that along with these and really invite people to come might help too. And tell them what's on.
February made sense is because we're going to invite the surrounding businesses that want to potentially participate. And so we'll get some of that new feedback that maybe we haven't heard before. I think particularly from like Cuzzies and Shram, it'll be good to hear their pain points. But I think that's,
Just kidding.
yeah, do we really want to know? I think that's something that we could easily do. Like even if it's just a QR code that had the Zoom meeting embedded in it. So if they couldn't get here, they could at least jump on the Zoom. So I'll work on that. And then we can. All right.
Great. Well, I look forward to working with you all, and I'll stick around and hear what's next.
Thanks, Max.
Nice to meet you, Max.
Likewise.
Technological difficulties.
We have.
Resolved.
On that.
So road construction is next.
Yeah, so we, just to kind of give a brief introduction, I'll hand it over to, the county and their representatives here. This is something that, the Highway 10 project, which also will have an impact on the 41 and 10 intersection, is slated to happen in 2025. And so we wanted to get them here as early in 2025 as possible to share, their project and, talk a little bit more about what will be happening this summer. So I will turn it over to Darren. Thanks. Like,
Thank you, Lisa. Is this the best spot to present from? Those online too?
yeah.
Yep,
All right.
you're good.
So, I guess if you're online, let me know if I'm not speaking loud enough to hear me. Again, I'm Darren Melke. I'm the Deputy County Engineer for Carver County Public Works. I've been the project manager for this project. I guess I've been overseeing it ever since its conception, but we've been really short staffed the past year plus already. So I've taken on the project manager role for this job as well. So Carver County started a corridor study in Highway 10 or Angler Boulevard back in 2018, I believe. We finished the study just before COVID or right as COVID was occurring, but the study started from Highway 43 intersection to Western intersection, so about halfway towards Waconia, all the way through Chaska to 61. And out of that study, there was an implementation plan and identified several projects that the county and city and our partners should do. And this is one of them that's coming out of it. So this is one of the first ones coming out of it, actually. So it's a very significant one. So I guess if you want to go to the next slide, Sarah. First, just maybe start off with introducing our project team. I guess our goal today is just to introduce you to the project. Maybe you never heard about it. At least you know where to get info from and who to talk to. We plan to come back at your meeting next month, which sounds like it might be better attended anyway at that point, and talk about staging, detours, access routes, things like that. So we'll get into nitty gritty that way. If you have specific questions, we definitely can get into them today a little bit. We're just in the phase of getting our contract signed and completed this week or into next week with our contractor. So we do have that done already as well, or going to be done shortly. So I guess with our project team, besides myself, these two gentlemen you'll get to know quite well. I'll start with Jeff. Jeff works for SRF Consulting Group. So we brought him on as a consultant project manager. He'll be the lead project manager for the project, overseeing it from here on out to the finish line. He has experience with Chaska in the past. He worked on the 44 project as well. So
Big Woods.
Yeah.
So good experience. And then Derek Main, he's a engineering specialist for us, or soon to be, I guess I should say. So he's going to be the deputy project manager for us. We're working him up into a project management role. He's been actually involved this whole past summer with all the utility work that's been going on Angler Boulevard. So that's been a precursor. They're moving stuff in advance for our project. So I know you see barrels and stuff. It is actually related, and some of it's related to the public safety campus though too. So we're a little bit intertwined in that area. And also, I know Sarah introduced herself. It's Sarah Rennie. She's with HDR. She's our consultant communications manager. We also have our own team. We've been really short staffed on the communication side where we just backfilled those spots just within the last week here. So, but we have Sarah and her team with HDR helping us out with communications. I think the key takeaway from this is if there's any communications needs for the downtown businesses, even if how to get the downtown, we'll talk about there's gonna be a closure on 41, unfortunately, up the hill though, instead this time. So if you need help with that, that's what they're there for. That's what we hired them, not just to help our team, but to help the community out as well. So next slide. So the first things first, we do have a project web page. So go back to the.
Yeah, so this is just the QR code where you can sign up for regular project email updates, especially as we get into the construction phase here in April. We'll be sending out regular updates via email. So this will take you to the project webpage where there's more information on the project, but also where you can sign up for those emails.
Yeah, and there's quite a few cool things on there. We need to probably reorganize a few things on there, but the last open house we had, there's a fly through 3D video. It's almost like a video game fly through, but it makes it look real life actually. So you might find that the most useful. There's also a project layout on there that shows the full project from kind of a airplane's view looking down on it as well. So feel free to check it out. Like Sarah said, you can sign up for email updates as well. So, I know the project title, I mean, this project was definitely focused on fixing the Highway 4110 intersection. It does actually extend all the way west to Highway 212 interchange and all the way east to Old Audubon Road. The core of the project is from Bavaria Road to the community center is the core reconstruction area. We're doing some resurfacing and miscellaneous things on the very ends of it as well. So it is that full red segment that you see on the map in front of you.
How many roundabouts are we gonna get out of this?
17.
4, that's it?
You want more?
Well, just.
Don't add to our workload.
So, but if you look at that flat through video or that layout, there are 4 new roundabouts. Highway 10 is going to be expanded. So between Bavaria Road and I'll say Crest Drive, just west of Park Ridge Drive. Oh, maybe I should say it, just east of Highway 41, maybe the easier way to say it, is going to be a 4-lane highway. So it'll be 2 lanes in each direction to that stretch. That's for future capacity. Needs to be 4-lane going west as we go all the way to 212. We're not going to be making it 4-lane all the way to 212 with this project. But at least from Bavaria Road to just east of 41, it will be. So the roundabout will be at Bavaria Road. That's going to be, I guess we call it a 2x1, so 2 lanes each way on Highway 10 or Engler Boulevard and single lanes on Bavaria Road. White Oak Drive will be the same thing. There'll be a roundabout there, so that'll definitely help access in and out of that White Oak area in particular. That was a benefit of going with the roundabouts. Highway 4110 will be a big 2x2, so 2 lanes on every approach on that one. We're doing a different design on that one. I think maybe they didn't go quite as far as MnDOT was comfortable, but we're making lane designations. So when you drive that roundabout and come up to it, there'll be overhead signs similar to like you're on a freeway where you have overhead signs saying in this lane, if you want to go this way, you got to be in this lane. So we're actually likely going to make the same changes to the 61 and 101 roundabout to help alleviate some crash issues you've seen there. So center median, there'll be landscaping that the city is doing throughout the whole stretch for streetscaping beautification type thing as well. I think you can go to the next one. I'm probably jumping ahead. Yeah. I guess.
I think you touched on most of those.
Most of this, the pavement resurfacing is going to be from Highway 212 east to almost Victoria Drive, roughly, just a little bit east of there, almost Bavaria Road. There's going to be, so if you're driving westbound on Highway 10, it'll continue to, we're going to restripe the pavement or lane lines. So it'll be 2 lanes all the way west, all the way to 212 once we're done. Eastbound, it'll still be a single lane. We're not doing the widening at this point. We're looking for future development to happen on the south side of the road and the open farm field areas there. And then we'll finish off the south half of the road, I guess, in the future. So we're kind of getting halfway there with making a true 4-lane facility. And then the east end from basically community center east, it's going to be resurfacing, but there's also a trail project included that the city got funding for. They got federal safe routes to school funding. We've taken on that project or transferred the funds to Carver County. We're leading that part too. So there'll be a continuous trail system from the very west end of the project all the way down to Ravo Road. There's still going to be a small little gap by Brandondale that we need to finish up yet. So it won't be fully continuous, but this is going to get you most of the way there. I think the biggest thing people like and maybe don't know that we're doing is there are going to be 2 new underpasses included with this project. So it's going to be by the 4110 intersection. So it's already pretty tight there. But if you're going on the east side of 41 going north, there's going to be an underpass that goes underneath Highway 10. So on the east leg of the intersection, underpass under Highway 10. And there's going to be another one under 41 as well on the north side of the intersection. So if you look
Like going from Chaska Middle School west to the church?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then on the north side from Chaska Middle School west to the other church? All right.
Take care of the kids there.
Do you want the staging map?
Maybe we can bring up the layout to show you at the end too. I was thinking about that. So I just wanted to bring it up that there've been some pedestrian crash issues at that intersection in the past. So this is meant to really help it. There's still going to be some at grade crossings, especially on highway and the Engler Boulevard portion. There's still going to be 2 lanes to cross each way. This is going to be the push button activated, I guess, flashing signs. Not like the ones that are by the curling center or
not a hawk or what?
Not a hawk, but these are going to be those RFBs as we call them. So they're going to be side mounted on each side of the road. So you'll still have that feature that we're adding in. So. But I think the core goal of this is safety, but it's also looking at the future. There's a fair amount of expected growth on the highway, so that's why we're making it a 4-lane facility west of 41. Next one, Sarah. So this project is a big one. I mean, it's a big deal for city of Chaska as well, but we're not looking at it in a bubble. So this map is showing all the other significant projects we have coming up this year and into the next few years. This project in Chaska is on the very bottom of this drawing. But it's showing all the other resurfacing and reconstruction projects. In particular, we're really ramping up in the Victoria area, Arboretum area this year. So we have, if you haven't heard, we're doing the extension of Highway 18 or Lyman Boulevard west of 41 now. The contractor started tree clearing and then a little bit of grading work already. That is I think over a $20 million project we embarked on there. We had $10 million in state bond funds to help make that one happen.
The old dirt road there is gonna be a real road now.
It's gonna be a real road.
Awesome.
So we're touching that. We're also touching Highway 11, North Lake Road, and Highway 14. There's a roundabout happening there. There's also resurfacing. He said that's happening this spring already. We're going up for bids right now as we speak for that one. And then even Victoria is really going to get hit the west side. If you're familiar with the DQ on the west side, there's going to be another 2 roundabouts there actually. And then
C-17.
17.
We're getting there.
So I think I should back up, Highway 18 in Beaver area is a roundabout there. It's gonna be built. 11, 14, Marsh Lake Road is another one there. There'll be 2 by the Dairy Queen and just north of the Dairy Queen, so 2 more added there. And then shoulder widening and resurfacing through Carver Park Reserve. So I guess with all of our projects over the past years, we've kind of gone around this area and then we've kind of cleared out of the way, knowing this one was coming this year. So I know it feels like we're keep hitting, especially downtown Chaska. So at least this one's up the hill at least. And I'll get into staging here in a little bit, but so there's a lot going on. There's more on that isn't on that map, like Highway 212 we're leading right now. That's underway. And then the huge Highway 5 project by the Arboretum. That's a over $100 million project that we're.
Is that with their entrance moving?
It's moving everything. So that's from South Victoria all the way to past 41. So that's happening in 26 and 27. So that's not even on this map. So.
Is the little squigglies on Pioneer and 11 a roundabout?
There's a roundabout project at the intersection.
That's
But
good.
then east of there, it's just a resurfacing, I mean, that should be.
Personally, that's a
fairly
tough
low.
intersection. That's a good.
So just to speak to that a bit, Darren just mentioned the Lyman Boulevard 82nd Street project that's happening starting in spring. There's going to be a public meeting regarding that project and the 1114 roundabout on, I believe it's Wednesday, February 26th. So that communication is going to be going out in the next few weeks, but just a heads up.
And are all of these things kind of happening at the same time? Like when we think about getting people down here, like we cut off part of Bavaria and then we cut off part of Pioneer and 11.
Oh, for this project.
Yeah, like are they all together?
I'll get into that next,
Okay.
it's phased, so.
Okay.
It's orchestrated chaos, as I like to call it.
Fine.
Did you say Marsh Lake is gonna be paved? Marsh Lake Road, the one going out to the,
The city already paved it west of 11. Like, they kind of did a bare bones get by for now paving job on that one.
all the way to Marsh Lake, the hunting club?
Yep, and west all the way to 43. So it is paved already. This is just adding a roundabout. If the traffic keeps picking up because of all the residential development in that area, and we've had a fairly consistent uptick in crashes there. Luckily, nothing too serious yet, so we're trying to get there ahead of it.
So the Pioneer Trail goes east and Marsh Lake goes west, so there's gonna be a roundabout right there. All right, cool.
So we're trying, a lot of those projects in the map, we're trying to get a lot of that done before the big Highway 5 project happens, because once 5 has to shut down, I guess they're kind of scatter. So the new 18 will be a big reliever route for if you're in Victoria in particular. So it is being planned out. I know it looks like a shotgun went off on that map, but we've been very fortunate, I guess, with getting a lot of external funding, which is great. We've made, I guess, talking with our county engineer, Lyndon Rodgett, yesterday, I think we've blew through about 70% of our sales tax projects already. Either they're in the work built or in the works are going to be built here in the next few years. So that's incredible. It's a 20-year plan. We just started in 2018 with the tax, so. So we're only 7 years into it. So they're actually talking about what projects we should be adding to that list now that we're getting through it already. So a lot of good things, but it does cause a lot of chaos to the coordinator. So timeline, this is very general. So I mentioned earlier that there's been some utility relocation that's been happening all this past summer already. The city of Chaska Electric, I should say, has been the lead on a lot of that work. They're doing a joint trench where all the utilities are going together for the most part in one common trench together. They're sharing in the cost. A lot of that work has been done already. I mean, they're going to keep working out through this next spring or so just to get out of the way. So that's going to be a huge benefit for them moving up front. That's going to save, hopefully eliminate a lot of risk to schedule delays that we may see. There's going to be some tree clearing this spring, probably in March timeframe, give or take. And the brunt of the work is going to be likely when conditions are workable, and I'll just say April, all the way through November. It's going to be a very aggressive scheduled project. We're going to try to get everything done this calendar year, or at least most of it. The exceptions may be like some landscaping, maybe some sidewalk trail work off the roads, I guess grass restorations, stuff like that. They may carry over into 26. We do have a contingency though. Worst case scenario, the portion from Crest Drive, so that's the intersection just east of 41, from there east to the community center may not get done this year. That would happen in the spring, early summer of 2026. So we're throwing money at the contractor as an incentive to get everything done by November 15th of this year. So we're hoping that's a big enough carrot to make them go at it here. So here's a staging map, and that's kind of hard to see. We'll be definitely sharing this presentation with you all too. But think of it as a west to east progression type project. That's probably the simplest way I can put it. So to your question earlier, so this is going to be staged. I think the initial work is going to be on the west end. So Bavaria Road and Highway 10 Engler Boulevard is going to be shut down first. That roundabout's going to get built first. So it's probably going to impact, I guess, businesses in that northwest corner of that intersection, as well as Southwest Christian probably is the bigger impact in that area.
The fire department.
Fire department,
Oh,
their temporary relocation they have to.
Well, they
So
won't be in there yet.
No, but they're just
Oh,
over
they're
by
in
Public Works.
yeah.
yeah, they're in that area too.
Yeah, just make a new road to connect from there to Bavaria will be good.
So if you look on the map, it's yellow color. That's the area I'm talking about. So Bavaria Road shut down, Highway 10 shut down from Victoria Drive, or the entrance where the public services area is at, to Royal Oak Drive. That's the first intersection east of Bavaria. That's all going to be shut down and built together. So that's going to be April, May, and into early June, with the intent of being done with that when Chaska School District gets out for the summer. And then they're going to move on to the green and blue together. I think it's the light blue color and green color. So they're going to keep moving east from there. So that they can work on that entire area, but the focus is going to be on the light blue area. That's the 41 and 10 intersection and the White Oak and 10 intersection in particular. We're going to allow them to shut that down basically when the school's out for the summer to Labor Day, that weekend. We're also, in addition, throwing an incentive to them for that, for $10,000 a day for every day they get done before I think it's August 30th is our date that we gave them.
Sweet.
And I'll preface that as that's an intention for them to try to accelerate and reduce that window of time. For this group, I would say that we're paying that incentive so that they still get done by Labor Day. So we may end up still paying that incentive. You know, if some delays come up, they're entitled to more working days or weather is bad. We found in the past, we've done it on the other 41 project north of 212 as other issues came up. They basically got almost 10 days back from that other job, but since they were working ahead, they still got done by the date that we wanted. We still paid them an incentive, but if we didn't do that, they would have been 2 weeks behind.
Right.
So I don't want to get people's hopes up that we'd be done early, but the incentive is there to make sure they get done by August 30th. Is probably the bigger reason. If they get done before August 30th, that's a bonus in my book. So 41 in particular is going to be shut down. So I think whenever the Chaska School, I think June 8th or 9th, somewhere in there, whenever they get out the next day, they'll be able to shut down Highway 41. that means we'll have a detour route, and we'll get into that at your next meeting next month. But so it'll be rough, a little short of 3 months time frame that you can't go north and south. Once you get past Labor Day, they can still work on the green areas. So Angler Boulevard may not be open east-west in those particular spots. So, but they can keep working on that through the fall, but at least they'll be able to go north-south on Highway 41. The far eastern part, I guess maybe not quite far eastern, but the purplish color, that's the area by Chaska Community Center area. That's the Park Ridge Drive. That's another roundabout in that area. This is where I mentioned we're throwing $100,000 incentive if they can finish that by November 15th. So it's fairly aggressive, but we did a construction schedule and we do feel it's feasible. I think we have two weeks of buffer even in that getting done by that date. So as long as they're on their A game, they should be able to, we feel they should be able to hit that unless unforeseen or weather conditions slow them up. So, best case is that's done by November. Worst case is it's middle of June or end of June, by next summer is when we're done with that purple portion. So really trying to get it all done this year because it has ramifications to all those other projects that we didn't show on that one map that we're coordinating with. We can make it work. It just makes it much easier to coordinate if we have it all done next year or this year. I'm sorry. On the periphery, I call it reddish with stripes on it on each end of the project. That's the resurfacing areas with some other minor improvements like some turn lane additions on the west end. East end, it's a new trail from the community center east to Revolt Road, as well as resurfacing. That's all going to happen, I guess, when it fits their schedule. So that's kind of open and loose. So that'll be done with flaggers under traffic.
Okay, that was my question.
So those won't, that red hatched area, those won't be shut down.
Yeah.
It'll be open to, at least to get to the residents in that area in particular. So I guess some closing things. We have not signed our contract with the contractor. We're working on that as we speak. Just getting through some final approval type things. So your February, I think February 14th looks like you guys have your next meeting. So this group will be there. It'll probably be more of Derek and Jeff talking at that meeting, more details. And again, the nitty gritty, we already have some maps we're working on and graphics for detour routes and actually just how do you get to Chaska Community Center, for example, when that eastern portion shut down. So, or the school, things like that. So we have maps that we're almost finished with this fall for those. But if there's, after that meeting, if there's something else that you guys feel you need, how to tell people how to get downtown, this team can definitely help put those together too.
That'll be huge, is having communication on how do we get people downtown. So however we can like really strongly highlight that is gonna be very important.
What we've done in the past, when we dealt down here is we obviously pushed out the sign up so that they could get their own information. But then we whatever that word is, we forwarded, there we go, that works. That same communication out to them as well. And then from a social media perspective for the community, we had graphics made that showed the detours and then kind of showed the parking based on those detours. So any of that, I mean, obviously the first two things are easy for us to do, but the graphics were really helpful from a social perspective. And if we print anything as well.
Yeah, so if this group needs graphics like that, please reach out to Sarah. We'll make
That's
it
super
up.
easy then.
Yeah, we'll make it easier.
I
Yeah.
got you done.
So yeah, we'd like to be the source of the info. So if you need something, we'll make it for you. So
And like Darren mentioned too, we'll have a good number of detour closure and access route maps available by the time we meet with you in February. But I'm wondering who would be the right person? Would that be you to connect with specifically about your parking downtown request? We will have information already available for how to get downtown, but that would be you that I would.
Yeah, I think, because what was helpful when we went through this situation was not only getting people down here, but then letting them know when they showed up, where they could like engage with parking so they could get out and then move about. And my guess is we're gonna use, what do you call it? That big road over, big
44.
Yeah. Yeah.
big road.
That big road.
It's early.
With trees.
Well, I slid down this morning. I'm guessing that's one of the routes. And so then helping them understand how they come into downtown and where they go.
Oh, okay, now I understand where you're going with the parking, how to navigate coming a different way and getting to the parking lot that they might be
okay.
looking for. Got it.
We'll connect, Jen. Once you see the maps, then you'll have an idea of what, if anything,
Where we
further
can
you
send.
need from that. Yeah.
What's really nice is Savannah, the Savannah Way connector is now
Mhm.
open.
Yep.
That'll be huge in helping people get down, and connecting into Big
Especially from
Woods.
like the Clover Ridge
Yes.
neighborhood and things of that
Mhm. And
nature.
We need an education campaign on that, I think, because I don't know that anyone knows unless you stumbled upon it.
Yeah, I think Kevin has the video Kevin and I made can get posted about that. I think Kevin mentioned that.
I know him and Alex have. a plan
Yeah,
of
yeah.
how To.
That's good. That'll
Mhm.
help, I think. W- This was a topic later, but I think it'll also tie to this. The wayfinding signage for down here, will that be up before this project starts then? Like, will we be able to?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's,
It's in design and it has been designed. It's about ready to go to production.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of in
theoretically,
final phases.
that's good.
Wayfinding to downtown. Is that what you need?
In downtown.
in downtown,
In
that's
downtown.
something that we're doing
Got it.
as we've finished up the 4161 project.
And we can share what we're doing with you.
That'd be
That'll
awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're happy to partner, like Darren said, that's what we're here for too, is to help the downtown area with whatever communication needs are necessary for the public.
And maybe to take even a step further, if you have businesses in the White Oak business area in particular, if they need something specific, how to get to their particular area, we'll make that for a specific business or business group too. So it's not just for a bigger audience. We can be that granular.
That's a really good point. Like, so we're gonna be communicating down here and then you all are communicating outwards to the entire business and then you'll support that piece. So it's kind of like a
Yeah.
three-legged stool.
Yeah, we got quite a few businesses on kind of the northwest, right corner and then southeast of Bavaria or what, I don't know what, during White Oak there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if we could have something for that area, that'd be awesome for those two business groups.
Yeah, and bring it up in particular during that summer closure of 41. We actually are gonna close, 41 will be, I guess, the median that's there today will be reopened at White Oak, because that'll be your only way to get to that White Oak businesses. So that'll be a little unique or different for those summer
Oh,
months.
so going north, you're gonna be able to hang a left in by Bank Vista there.
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
And we've been doing engagement with those White Oak area businesses, the schools that are impacted, those churches, the holiday. So we, in October, went out and did some business canvassing. So we've been in communication with them over the last 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. We've hosted public meetings, we've done engagement. So, and then, shoot, I keep thinking of something I want to say and it keeps leaving my brain.
So
Go ahead, Darren.
so they all should be aware of what's going
Yeah.
on. If they're not, they just have been ignoring it or what they're doing and saying, I guess. didn't
I know.
hear, I-
One of the dentist offices is a brand new owner, right?
I was just gonna
You
say,
know?
that would be the only thing would be
Yeah.
following up if there's been any business
Yep.
changes.
As of how brand new?
In the last few months, I
Yeah.
think.
Do you know the name?
It's escaping me right
Is it
now.
Crooked? Is it
Dental? Yeah.
relaxation?
No,
Oh, relaxation, I know we
it's
can.
another dental office.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one that took over Stapleton's, not Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton, is
Yeah.
that? No,
He's married to Don
Feel free
Stapleton.
to-
yeah.
I can't remember his name though.
I want to say it's White Oak Dentist. Right?
Oh, I think you're right. I
Yeah.
think you're right. Yeah.
Take note of that and see, we've taken notes on who all we've engaged with, so
Okay.
I'll,
It's just gonna be different in that phase, because the only way to get those businesses in the White Oak area is from the south on 41. So you won't be able to get it come from the north easily, you have to go all the way around. So. And maybe a little precursor to the detour routes will be, since we have to have trucks in mind, especially for the trunk highway, we'll be using Highway 61 to John the Cover Parkway instead for our official detour.
okay.
But if you want people to get downtown using Big Woods Boulevard, for example, we can make maps showing that. I just want to make you aware of what we're signing out there is official.
So we're not gonna send them a Audubon?
No,
Thank you.
but people are just gonna do their thing. So I'll say that's.
Right,
yeah.
they
Yeah.
will, but I think, yeah.
On paper.
Boy, do we know that.
Signs, it's gonna be 61 to 11 to 12 and.
Okay. I do think we want to include Big Woods, just because there's such a
For
huge
local detours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just not the
population.
Yeah, you sign like no truck traffic, or I suppose you really
Weight
can't.
limit, maybe?
But we'll try.
I don't think they like going around roundabouts.
I
and
doubt they
there's-
try and go big ones.
Yeah.
That would be no fun.
It's all roundabouts right there.
Can I ask you-
I'm sure they do.
Oh, roundabouts, half seriously, half jokingly, but are there any trainings of how to teach people how to do roundabouts? That's humorous because, oh my goodness.
No, that's
driving.
question, we get it.
There's gotta be some goofy, funny thing that people just don't get it and it's so maddening.
But how hard is it? I mean, you go down
know.
41 to 169. I've never seen anything like that, and it wasn't hard to follow the signs. And
The
I know my
Chaska.
dad was
45
driving and
minutes.
he stopped. He goes, "What do we do?" I go, "Follow the signs. Like, do what you've been doing your whole life."
One to the left, really bad.
So-
Yeah.
2 lanes to the left.
We do plan to do some educational, maybe a video, or I know MakeDOT has a nice video too that we'll share. So
Over by.
definitely say this part of the county probably maybe needs more of that than the particular other ones, so they're more used to them maybe.
Terminal 1 is.
Educate people from the west so they know what to do when they get here, and they're like, "Whoa, what is all this stuff?" Right?
There actually is a graphic, a visual graphic tutorial on the project webpage as well for this specific roundabout. So, but we have talked about a video, so a tutorial.
Something funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look both ways when you go into a roundabout.
Don't stop.
They have that.
Just about died at the one by Costco, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
That's a bad one, actually.
Well, it's a good roundabout. People just need to know how to use it.
Right.
Bad drivers.
The other thing too, I'll let Darren conclude, but I do have a project handout here. You're welcome to take project contact cards as well. And like we've mentioned, we'll be back in February with further mapping information and detailed information. But the final thing I wanted to just get from the group, and you can think it through for our next meeting, but I just would like to know what what we could do that would be most helpful for you all. Even just specific to these meetings, if you want us to have representation here monthly throughout construction, or if just you all have been through construction in the last couple of years specific to downtown, please share with us what worked regarding communications, what didn't work. We just want to be here to partner with you all and to ensure that this goes as smoothly as possible.
I think being here, whether it's on the Zoom or not, is helpful because we got updates monthly. And I think for you, like that stuff you can take out to the businesses that you're engaging with, and then we can push that out to downtown. That was always nice just to know kind of what was going on outside of the, I'm assuming weekly updates via email is how.
More than likely. Yeah, regular regardless.
But that was
Yeah.
nice just to get that long view of like, hey, we're on track, or we're not, but we know we're gonna make it up here unless it rains all spring.
Okay.
Is that, the public meeting at the community center, 4:30 to 6, is it open house or is there a presentation? Open house, okay.
Just come in.
Just like the last one, kind of?
Okay. During that time. So we'll have layouts. I'm sure we'll have that fly-through video going again for everyone. And we'll have some probably staging graphics. Ones that we'll probably go over with this group as well at your February 14th meeting. So you'll probably get a little precursor to it.
Yeah.
So. Well, I just want to say thank you for having us. I guess if there's any information you need, these two gentlemen will be your key points of contact going forward through construction. I know it's a pain shutting down a major highway in your city. I think the pain will be worth it at the end. At least it's not immediately downtown this time. So we'll try our best. I think we have a good contractor on board. We personally haven't worked with them, but I've heard really good things about them. So hoping for.
If you guys have time, we do our Copy Connects, second and fourth Tuesdays of the month. We get like 40 to 50 businesses that come in from 8 to 9 a.m. We're doing it at McDonald's on the north side of town by Kohl's this next week. So, I mean, it'd be great people get to know a name and a face and then they'll understand, I think, better a little bit.
Do you want to send me that information?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. And I am in communication with Krista and Kevin regarding community events where we can have engagement opportunities and project representation, which we've done in years past, but of course, this year during construction, we'll take advantage of more opportunities if possible.
And this project hasn't been like publicly shared yet, right?
Yeah, it has.
Oh, yeah.
We've had
So
public-
A lot of people have input over the roundabout at 41. I think that's been the main focus of this project, but And then the neighbors that live along that road, cause I'm one of them, you know, they've had multiple open houses. So I think that specific area, but I think to Steve's point, it's good to reach the broader business community.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm assuming, what's your, I know it's an open house and I'm assuming the proximity people will get a postcard in the mail again, but are you, that open house, are you really gonna try to target the whole community at large now at this point, since we're kind of hitting the go time?
Which is what we've done also the last 2 years. So we have a mailing list of around, in the project area of around 1,500.
Yeah.
But our reach greatly extends that via social media, targeted ads, and of course, the website, of course, the emails that we send out.
Push out too.
Yeah, I think it would be really helpful to try to push that to the broader community, but also because they're probably not gonna show up at the open house if they're not like as hugely impacted. They have a new local paper. I think it'd be good to put outreach out there, use him and, you know, like you said, your social networks at that point to try to get more broader community.
You said a new local paper?
Yeah, the
Online, yeah,
local Carver County Local News.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's like, you know, it's just an online, so I think you guys can definitely do like a press release and they'll put it out there. And that was one of the, I was talking with somebody that's heavily involved in that paper and they said that someone did an article about the roundabout and that's been one of their top viewed articles on that website at this point. So people are very invested and interested in this project.
Does anyone have a contact there?
Yeah,
Mike,
I'll
yeah.
take your contact and get you connected with them.
Awesome, thank you. Great.
I remember speaking over there. It must have been her first story or something she was doing, so.
Yeah.
Did Molly do that one?
I don't know who did the story, but I know that Mike told me that it was their top article at this point. Also, we have a monthly article there.
Yeah, I guess feel free to answer any other questions you may have about the project. Why we can, okay, in particular, but we'll get in the weeds next month if you want to do it then too. So,
Thanks, you guys.
thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate this time.
Max is still on there, so I'll put you all first. And how much time do you think?
Well, the same amount of time we just spent.
So like 30 minutes?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Max is an hour enough then? And we can potentially bleed over a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that'd be just fine.
Okay. All right, so we won't plan on really any other outside of these two things. Engaging the new SSD individuals potentially into this and then. Is that, the 100 Club's not this morning?
No,
Oh, good,
that one.
good, it's that, okay.
You said earlier.
I was gonna say, do you want to? I didn't want to start it earlier, but that's a lot to pack in.
I'm up at 5:30, let's go.
9:15. I gotta get my kid to
It'll
school.
probably just be us. Oh, we need Dan for the budget, if he's traveling. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
See you soon.
City updates, next item.
Yeah, so just a few things, obviously, not obviously, I shouldn't say that. We welcomed 2 new council members and a new mayor on Monday night. They were sworn in, so we officially have our new council in place. So that's very exciting. We did invite the 2 new council members. So I don't know if they got back to you on which meeting they're gonna tell. They're obviously not here today, but they have the schedule, so they're invited to attend when it fits for them. So that's very exciting. And with that, I've shared this in past years, but our council department head retreat is coming up in 2 weeks. So I always like to share that if there's any feedback from the downtown businesses we usually touch on. We're actually gonna be working on setting our new kind of vision. So we had our vision for 2025. We're obviously in 2025 now. So with the new council setting, what does our vision look like over the next 5, how many ever years? And so the last time we did this, we set having a vibrant downtown as one of our pieces of our vision. And so I would expect that the new council will have a similar vision in regards to downtown at least. But that's something, so if there's anything like feedback or anything, I always use that. Of course, things that come to me at this meeting when I'm at that council retreat, because it is 2 days of spending time with all the department heads and all the council members, mayor, where we go through things and really set that vision. So
Where do you
if there's
go?
anything, we're gonna be at the
It's like-
community room at the
Clover.
Clover, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
never
yeah,
been in
this
there.
year,
Heard people-
so-
Is it nice?
Yeah, I voted in
never-
there one year, like
Oh,
long,
never-
long time
Oh,
ago.
Yeah, so if there's any feedback or anything, always open to that. So that's coming up. And then the only other thing is obviously, we had Max Musicant here this morning. The council, actually the EDA approved the spend for that on Monday night. So that's very exciting and an investment in downtown, that the whole new council was very willing, and excited to make. So that was really the extent of my updates.
Oh, I don't have anything to share. She's covered it well.
I think from a focus perspective, you kind of know them and Max talked about them, like the pocket park, I think.
Yeah.
Giving us another home base kind of to throw things up is really important.
Yeah.
Steve mentioned the social district. We know it works. We know the businesses, the restaurants loved it. And the community engaged with it in a responsible way. I think those are two big focuses for, again, our goal is to get people to move around downtown. It's to come down here, but it's also to move around and see the hayloft and other things. Am I missing anything that? And I think from a Max perspective, like he mentioned, that implementation support, we have not increased our budget ever. And we've toyed with the idea that if we did, what could we potentially do? And I think that's where Max can help us define that so that we could then present that effectively to the businesses so that they were receptive to that kind of potential increase. Because I think what we talked about last time is like things have gotten more expensive and we're going to get to a point where we're able to do, what is it, less with more with less, whatever, you know what I mean? Like we've been the opposite in the last 10 years where we've gotten more effective at how we run events and more effective at how we manage things. So we were able to do more, but that, I think we're flipping that now because of the cost of things. And we're going to have to start to figure out like, maybe we can't do carriage rides because that's the most expensive part of hometown holiday now. I would never do that, but.
That was so fun.
But that's, I think, something that we're thinking about is how do we get better at what we're doing, like llamas for reindeer, that kind of thing. But also then if we want to do more, like if Max is able to help us figure out how to activate different spaces, we're going to have funding to do that because we're tapped out at this point,
We
basically.
have different numbers too. If we expand the district, we have more, but also
Yep.
the percentage per business or property owner would go down as we expand. So
Mhm.
there's just different numbers
different
going into the
numbers, yeah.
formula.
Sure.
I did find a cheaper Santa option.
Awesome. See,
Speaking of that.
we're optimizing.
Any other city updates from this side?
I don't think we have anything new.
Nothing to add?
So we covered signs. I saw the Cooper's liquidation inside. Does that mean something is moving there? Or that's just the state of them?
That's just the state
Okay.
of that. I don't think we have anything more that we can kind of publicly share at this point in time.
He's so good at poker. She's over there. She knows all the things. She's just like, no.
I said things.
Got a royal flush.
I can stop the recording. So City Square West, like, again, when we think about Max and the areas to activate down here, are we
We
anywhere?
have a bonding request in.
Okay.
That's been, language has been drafted. It's been given to our legislators. Waiting for session to start. The question will be is there a bonding bill this year?
Right, I mean, that's
Not a
gonna be
bonding
the big
year.
question.
They didn't do one last year when it was a bonding year. I think there's a lot up in the air right now.
Well, yeah, they're looking at like
And they
a
have the-
$5 billion deficit in a couple years, so that'll be hard. So like cause they were here, like, I wanna say one of my first weeks on the job,
Mhm.
they were downtown, right?
Yeah.
And the whole bus came in and it was awesome, but nothing came out of that?
Well, they're,
Jeez.
the way
No.
that the legislative makeup happened, you really needed both sides to be willing to do the bonding bill and they weren't, and they didn't have that. And so with that being the case, they were only able to use the surplus money and the majority party decided to use that money towards different projects.
Do we have any idea, like, I don't know if they like rank projects, like, do we have any idea where we fit after they came and visited and? No, okay.
I think, I mean, the idea always has been, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that we sit in a good place because they've already allocated money towards our project and they don't want to just throw those dollars away. So they want to see something happen. But I think, you get this give and take of like politics and then, governance, right? And it's like both things have to align in order for, I think, that completion to happen. And unfortunately, with the way that the results have run out with a dead even, especially in the House and the Senate, sounds like things are weird now too. I just don't know, it's gonna be like will they work together or is it gonna just be a total crapshoot? I don't know if that's so good to say on a public, regularly recorded meeting, but that's like the easiest word to come up with.
Slice that out.
No.
I say lots of things at this meeting.
I think the mayor's correct in that, historically, the legislature doesn't like to leave those who have been allocated funds, but not their whole requests in the past hanging.
Okay.
But we know there's a lot of requests and so I think where do we fall? We have the support of our legislators, we have the support of our senator, we have the support of our representative, and that's key. And we meet with our lobbyists every few weeks and they give us updates and we're ready to go. I mean, I think that's the big thing. We're ready to go. We revised our ask to, okay, what do we need? So that if we can get the money this year, we can go. I mean,
Is there like a starting dollar amount to like start? So businesses know what's going on. I mean, are we close to where it's like, this is?
I think we've come up with some numbers that makes sense. We did, the ask is, oh boy, it's $7 or $8 million is our ask.
Yeah.
Knowing that we have to bring 50% to the table. And so that's where you start the ask. Like any good grant request, you ask for
More.
with a little cushion,
Yeah.
right? And so we have a target number that we would like to reach, but if we get $7 or $8 million, we could do more.
Right. Yeah.
And where we're at.
Let's ask for 10.
Ask us in May how things are going.
Yeah.
From a timing perspective, if they were to approve it, we're ready to go, and would that be the plan then, or would it be more of a?
We still
prepare-
we're still working with the developer.
Okay.
And there still would need to be concept plans and preliminary and final plans. There still needs to be the whole planning process. I think, I mean, it's the chicken and the egg question. Do you go forward with a project?
There's costs involved.
Because
Plan it.
big
Yeah,
costs involved
big
with
costs.
planning and, okay, if you don't get all the money, how do you retool a plan, right? And so it's this weird chicken and egg thing. So we're kind of giving it another shot this year to figure out where we're at.
And then the cost goes up, right? The longer you wait to get the money to.
Yes,
It's just
yes.
either you're having rotisserie chicken or scrambled eggs.
Yep. The park, are we anywhere near to a point where we can start to share out? Or to have discussions? I know the last time we talked about this, it needed to go before council, I think.
Yeah, we haven't brought anything back to the council.
Which I think is okay because we're in a period of time, especially with the Max partnership, where we wouldn't be throwing up events. Because I think we have a lot to learn here about what makes the most sense. So I think that's okay.
Yeah, and if there's a presentation or anything that you have that discusses the burial mounds there, that'd be awesome because I mean, there's a few older residents that tell me this is lies. They played in that park since they were a kid. And I'm like, you really think we're going to lie about it? So.
Oh, I mean, that's.
A
little bit of.
Yeah. So, but then again, I'm like, well, geez, so when they do construction and they find it, it might not have been there when you were a kid, but you know what? So I don't know. It would be nice to say, hey, yes, this is a real thing and educate people about it. And I know they're the two different groups that are still probably fighting about it, but it'd be nice to get that figured out.
It would be cool maybe if once everything is figured out, if you all do really cool events, like the walk and ghost tours. Like if we did something around the history of the mounds and, because I know there's a whole Facebook group around all the mounds that run through Minnesota and Wisconsin. Like it's not just us that have mounds. So there's a lot of history to it. It would be neat to do something to help combat, because you're right, there's a lot of negativity about like, why are we
Wonder
not?
if we could, we're doing the murder and mayhem tours again, the end of April, beginning of May. Would that be appropriate to add something about that to that tour?
Probably not murders.
I don't
Yeah,
think
because
so.
of the name. Yeah, because of the name.
Yeah.
But it could be mayhem because it's so misunderstood.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
When is Indigenous People Day?
That's
That's like November.
October.
Oh, it's
October,
okay. I
yeah.
knew it was in the fall. Let's say it'd be great to maybe tie in, but that's kind of.
Yeah, but we haven't, we have no ghost stories from there, just mounds.
But I don't think it has to be ghost stories. I think you're just asking for just like an
Yeah, like-
informational, educational.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
You know.
you all volunteer your time for everything, but like a summer one would be really neat to get people to come down for a couple tours of the park and the education on it in the summer, since we're not using the park in the summer
It
anymore.
might, maybe, but scope it even beyond just the mounds, like that's just a part of it, but maybe it's just the indigenous history of the downtown area of Chaska. And that's scope of it.
No,
We found at Chaska Yards when we were digging, we had to have an archaeologist on site as they were digging holes. They found 1,300 artifacts when they were, their old cisterns and privies. Not, I mean, bottles. I mean, it's ridiculous,
Yeah.
the price we paid for a fish. Broken bottles.
I
But
have a
our-
box of what I dug out of it.
But our archaeologist says he's been in touch with somebody at
Me.
the historic, yes, about doing a paper talk about it, and it could be at the
Yeah.
same time, because it means digging up what's under that ground.
Yeah, we have actually already done an exhibit of what we dug out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, because it was the S house initially, and then we've done all the rest of the digging for the,
Yeah, we did both. Both properties.
they found more out of the Paseo in the back. when they were
Yeah,
all at
we'll
Paseo.
talk later, yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever, there's lots to
There's
talk
lots,
about.
there's lots of
Yeah.
stuff.
But since we're not allowed to do any public thing in the park, is it appropriate to do a tour through the park? Because that would be a public,
I think
That's
on the
fine.
pathways,
Yeah.
I think is, if it's done like respectfully, I mean, the pathways are already there. The big thing is like not disturbing the ground. So if we're staying on the pathways, based on what I've heard from the different groups, I think would be fine. It's celebrating the history and we're not disturbing the ground.
Right. And
more.
those in your tours aren't terribly big either. I did
no,
your
they're
ghost.
usually 10.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So
I
it's
think
not
that
like
would
a
be-
big giant event
Yeah.
Right.
of a lot of people gathering.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
walk through,
Yeah.
I think, I mean, that is still
Respectful.
respectful and nothing that
It'd be just like the cemetery event. It'd be very similar. I mean,
Yeah.
it is in some ways a cemetery, so.
Okay, I'll bring it up at the board meeting on Tuesday.
For the sake of time, any other city?
No, that was all my questions.
Steve? South
Yeah.
Chamber.
We have our Coffee Connect next Tuesday, at McDonald's. The Clark family joined last year. They have 7 franchises in our community, and most of them are, I think, are in Chaska, one in Eden Prairie. And then our annual membership luncheon is next Wednesday at Westwood, same location as last year. Some things we've been really kind of talking to all 4 cities about is tourism, and at least we're probably gonna have more conversations and maybe bring it to the work session here soon. And then we have our Galentine's Purse Bingo on February 13th at Hackamore Brewing in Chanhassen. So love to see you at more events. What time is your connect started? 8 a.m.
Parks and Rec, do we have any?
No, they're not.
Oh, well, we have the Health and Wellness Expo. We partnered with them
Saturday.
Saturday, tomorrow.
We'll be there.
Yep. So that's from 10 to 1. We have 35 vendors. I just got an email, somebody's in ER, so we're down to 34, but even like Chaska Fishing with Friends is gonna be there. So we have quite a few nonprofits as well as some businesses, some financial, because it's a whole wheel of wellness that we were focusing on, and it's the first time really doing something like that. So we're excited about it.
He's
And is it Lonnie that's with the Chaska Fishing with Friends? He like, what are we gonna do for lunch, Steve? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, this event goes till 1. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Sandwich, you know, a little liver and onions. I don't know. I don't know. Braunschweiger sandwich is delicious.
Mm.
Hey, so that'll be fun.
That's at the community center.
Yeah, in the upper gym.
History Society updates.
We just hung a gallery at the community center, 35 plus pictures from about mid 1800s. I think the newest one is from 1960, and it's called Chaska Remember When. And it'll be up for the month of January. And everybody that's seen, I mean, we didn't even get it hung, and there was people stopping and looking at the pictures because we had them, you know, setting around on the floor. And it's too bad it can only be there for a month, but
Well, that's cool. You'll be able to tell people about it tomorrow.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. And I posted it on our Facebook page and sent one to Kevin to see if he could put it on the Chaska page.
I'll share that too.
Yeah. And one of our volunteers at the History Center, we had our first genealogy class last night. And the classes will be once a month on the second Tuesday. And then on the fourth Tuesday, we're having a work session. So you just come and do your research, and we help you do your research. And so that's a program that we have going. And the lady that is the volunteer for that has just started her own little home-based business. She lives down by the hotel right next to the dike. But, and she did just a quick and dirty little logo thing, and this isn't glued together, so she didn't quite have time to finish it. But I thought maybe some of the businesses might be interested in doing something with their logo on it, like a Christmas ornament or a pencil box or something else. And so you can contact us to get her information because they're,
It's pretty cool.
yeah.
And let the board know, because they reached out about doing like the Chaska
Uh-huh.
bricks, the
Uh-huh.
foam bricks. I've talked to a couple mold makers and they're like, oh geez, we're not that custom. And so
Yeah,
I'm working on it. still,
okay.
So let them know. Cause that'd be kind of fun if we can get our own custom mold.
Yeah, we reached out to several companies that do promotional items. And one of them has a squeegee brick, but it's the kind of brick that has the 2 holes in it. And so we were trying to find, and us ourselves wouldn't order enough to justify the cost to have one of those companies make a mold. But Steve thought maybe he could talk somebody into it.
Promotional Select, Steve. That's who we buy everything from.
I was talking to a local mold maker to have
Oh.
a cut, like, so we could really do it in our community.
In
Oh,
there,
yeah.
Like in,
Yeah. I mean, I definitely can talk to Amanda about that. I just figured it'd be awesome to have a Chaska brick made locally.
Yeah.
You know,
So
Giant.
it'll say the Chaska on it and be the right color.
yeah.
Nope, that's it for me.
Having library connection.
I don't think there's anyone from the library on today. Nope.
Any other?
Oh, in connection with the library, the History Center is continuing the Lego.
Lego.
I saw that. That looks
And
awesome.
so I think they're going to try and recreate the gazebo this time. And it's second Saturday, I believe. Is that
Second
tomorrow?
Saturday every month.
Is that tomorrow?
Yeah.
January and February is what's scheduled for now.
What times? Is it just any time during?
No, it's you have to sign up at the library.
Mhm.
And I believe it's 10 to noon or something like that.
We'll check.
I'd have to look on the Facebook page.
Have anything, questions, comments, things to share?
Chaska Yards is going great. I don't know if you guys have been by there. The framing of the garage and unit 3 are up and digging the foundation for unit 2, and work is being done inside the Ernst. So we're hoping for.
Where was that at?
Red on Walnut and.
The old ass property.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just really cool.
Yeah.
Do you have people slated to live there already, or will you wait until, you'll wait until it's done?
Well, probably in the spring, we'll start doing some promotion, because it's part of the land trust, so folks that buy there be,
Yeah.
yeah, 80% AMI or less.
Okay.
And then the CDA owns the land, the home buyers will own the homes. It's a way to keep it perpetually affordable. So it's-
Yeah, that's a really cool program.
And the other thing, maybe at one of the future meetings, we pay for Next Stage. You guys maybe know Lee Hall. For business support, from expansion to financing to next stages, whatever. He's a great resource that's free to all businesses in the county. And he is working on what's he's calling 1.5 CO Next 1.5. So he's looking to get a cohort of businesses that are established but not quite to the next stage to start meeting and figuring out how to get from, 1.5 to the next stage. So I'm thinking maybe have him come to one of the meetings when he's got it ready and then kind of soliciting for businesses to join.
Yeah, that would be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that'd be really.
And if there's any topics that you want or workshops that you want, that would be helpful. I mean, he provides trainings. We cover the cost for that. And,
Yeah, I think that could be a question if we can get a big enough group here next month to kind of throw out to them and get some feedback, because
like,
I mean, obviously we had 2 new businesses open, or Jones Coffee is open, and then Edible India is opening.
Next
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Dog
like
grooming, I
we're starting, and then dog grooming.
think they're open now. I mean, their signs are up.
So like there are some newer people coming in, which I think that would be a really good resource for them as they kind of wrap their heads around everything.
Where's the India one?
And the old Red Savoys.
Right next to.
Yeah, Vic,
By-
Vic
We're
said they're
We're
opening.
next to
in-
Steve.
Yeah, right next
Yeah,
to Steve.
next
You know where
Friday.
Fitness First is? By Duncan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
was there supposed to be a Zumba business going on the other side?
That was.
They were the Indian, I don't know.
If there's one.
Oh, we're not sure what happened with that.
Any other, I haven't heard any other rumblings about anything else new or anybody.
Chaska Commons just joined the chamber. I met with Devin the other day, and they're excited. I mean, they're gonna have 7 permanent offices it's a co-working space. They just poured their patio, and so we were looking at that. That's when we saw the construction behind it.
Where they
Yeah.
redid the facade and they're doing.
Working there?
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was going back and forth between
He
leasing
was.
and doing that. Okay.
It sounds like Steve has the most up to date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve,
In the know.
where, who, what?
210 Chestnut that
yeah.
redid their, they brought it back to the Chaska brick, and then they just added a patio to the back. So in that Paseo, so if you drive through the Paseo to see Chaska Yards, you could actually see their new patio too. They had been throwing that around, a co-working space,
Mhm.
which
Yeah,
would be
he-
really cool for foot
he-
traffic in
He
downtown.
wants us to move there. Our lease is up in August.
Yes.
And yeah.
Do it,
So,
do it.
I
do
know,
it.
but it's.
Peer pressure. I'm
Well,
gonna email you every
the
day.
biggest concern was we didn't want to run their business and then but it's locked and it's the technology that they're gonna have. You're gonna be able to bypass QR code bypass to get into the building. And I'm like, we had tourism. It just, I don't know. It's a cool space. I love the concepts, but I don't think it'll be totally right for us, but I know.
Steve.
Boo.
Do you have his contact info? Cause
Yeah.
you share it with me.
Mhm.
Thank you. Oh, good. It's probably in what you're sharing with me, Julie, and I just didn't pick up on what it was based on the name. But I mean, I do like the name.
Yeah.
Where's that located? What was in there before?
210. MnDOT was in there forever, right? Right.
Nope, it's just next to
Uh,
Inkheart. Just down from there.
Anything happening with the old bank? Like, is she still asking like $500 million for it?
I don't know where if she still has it up for sale or not.
No, I
She
think
took it
she's
down.
just holding on to it, trying to figure out what to do. And going back and forth on things.
Love to know the history of that and why she wants so much or what, I mean, I don't know.
It wasn't 500 though.
I know it wasn't 500 million. It was like
We should contact her
380,000.
together.
Yeah, I talked to
'Cause
Nate.
that would be really cute.
That would be
Yeah.
a
Consider-
That would be,
No.
Southwest.
chamber.
I wanted to do something in there, I'm lazy.
I know.
So
What's the old bank? What are you talking about, Steve?
It's just
I hear
right.
bank and of course I.
It's M. Elizabeth, the old M. Elizabeth salon.
On.
just down from,
Down from La Hermosa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Side
I
of
got
there every day. Oh my gosh.
Do they have a vault in there or something?
They
In
do.
the basement.
It's like one of my favorite buildings downtown.
There's so much.
I want to, so
Yeah.
bad.
At the old nail salon
You
on
can see the
Second.
bank logo in the mortar.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so cool.
was-
It's a really cool building.
And all the other ones on the other side.
You
Could
can
drop
talk to me,
restaurants.
like soon. I need to make a
really
decision
hard.
in
Do
the
this.
next few weeks.
Let's
Yeah.
make this happen.
Yes, she's an interesting personality.
place.
She's very nice.
Hired
I've
pizza.
been told I have an interesting personality.
Yeah, you're all right.
Different, different. kind of interesting.
We're done, I guess, and we can't officially adjourn because we didn't officially, call the meeting to order, so.
All right.
Bye, everybody.